Welcome to Change Agents. Today I've got the immense privilege and pleasure of interviewing someone special in my life, and that's my mother. Her name is Dona Daya Somi Seneviratne. So if you thought my name was long and hard to say, just try saying my mother's. So I think that's probably how I got such a long name as well. I'm going to call her Talitha for the sake of the interview, just so everyone can relate to it. So today we're talking about change, and Talitha, what was... Now I know you know when we were small we moved to Australia, and it's always been in my mind, and you know we can play this out over the interview. But what was the main I guess what was the decision about moving to Australia? What was the underlying decision that you made to move the family, or did you make that decision initially when you came to Australia?
I was forced to decide because I got the opportunity to come and study here with a scholarship. So I applied to several countries, but I got it in Australia.
Okay, so you applied around the world?
Yeah, I applied to UK because your father was there, and I applied here and I got the first response from Australia.
Okay, so now this was back in the 80s, and obviously your husband was in
UK
in
at
England,
that time.
yes,
Yeah.
and then and you had how old was I then?
About 5 years.
5 years old. So did you think, what was going on in your mind when you thought, okay, I've got a scholarship to come to Australia, and did you initially decide to take me with you, or how did you play that out?
Yes, because the friends who came before me took their children, so I thought I could manage myself.
And did you think it was going to be difficult?
Not really, because the feedback I got from them was positive. They said there are a lot of childcare centers. You could leave the child or you can put him to school, because at that time, by the time that I got ready to come here, you were school-going age. So, no, there was no problem.
Having said that, I don't actually recall going to any childcare when I was...
No, I didn't, because you went to school straight.
So the main reason for coming to Australia, you mentioned you got a scholarship. The scholarship was for...
Initially a master's, and then from there a PhD, but they gave me a PhD research program straight away.
Okay, and what field was this in?
It was in women and education.
Okay, so here you are, a woman with a child coming alone to a country by yourself, and then you're doing a PhD in women's studies as well. So it's interesting. What gave you the courage to do it? Because I mean, even for even putting aside you're a woman, even for a man, just to go out there and do something.
There was nothing to discourage, because there were a lot of people who did that at that time. My colleagues who went before me, they managed.
And did they go alone?
Starting with, they went alone, then they came back and took their children and went.
Yeah.
In my case it was only you, but some of them had 2 or 3 children.
Right.
And later on their spouses accompanied them.
Yeah.
So,
but you decided to do it
in
one go.
Yeah, and then your father also said, we'll see how it is, and if it's difficult, he will join later.
What were some of the obstacles that you faced when you first came here?
You're falling sick. We used to fall sick very often because of the change in weather, and even I felt sick. And then I felt a bit lonely at that time because all by myself. And
How
also-
did you overcome that?
and also the loss of my mother immediately after coming to Australia, and there were very emotional times.
So what did you
Oh.
do to get through those tough times?
And there were a lot of support from friends, and then your father joined us after 3 months, so it wasn't that bad as I thought.
So he came here after 3 months. To me, actually, it felt like a lot longer for
Yeah,
some reason.
but
Maybe
it
when
was-
you were small.
No, it was more than 3 months. We came in June, he came in December.
Okay, so it was a fair about 9 months or so.
No,
About 7 months.
6
7
months. 6
Okay.
months.
So you mentioned you had some friends that helped you along the way. In what capacity?
No, just friends at uni in Sri Lanka, and then my supervisor was also supportive. And then I had my work to occupy myself.
So making that change to come to Australia, I guess people would be, people who want to make change in their own lives. What is that driving force? What is it? Was it emotion? Was it just willpower? You said you're going to do it. You wanted to go to Australia, or maybe you didn't even want to come to Australia. You just wanted to get a master's and complete high
No,
education.
once you get the opportunity, it would have been a real, it's a pity if you don't make use of that opportunity. So I thought I'll make use of the opportunity, and that was a time when a lot of people tried and they failed, and here I got the chance, and why not make use of it?
Right, and it doesn't come about that often. That's
No,
what you're
no,
saying.
no.
Okay. Was money a significant factor that played a part in
Yes,
the
at
decision?
at that time it was quite expensive to pay fees and come and do a PhD. So here you got the opportunity for 4 years to study
And did they cover travel?
and yes,
So they covered your travel here?
travel, and also one free field trip back to Sri Lanka.
Right.
So
And living expenses and all that kind of
everything, and for the spouse and you as well.
stuff? Wow, okay.
So for the family. So I thought it was too great an opportunity to have missed.
Do you think, since you did your PhD in women's studies, do you think it's easier or more difficult for women to make similar changes nowadays? So say someone coming from Sri Lanka or India, do you think it's easier for them to do it now?
I think so, more than that time, at that time.
So there's more opportunities?
More than opportunities, and also there's more networks. At that time there weren't many, and there are more supportive mechanisms also here.
Through universities? Or?
Yeah, I think so. At that time there weren't many, except if you don't have any friends, you won't have anything.
So before you came here, is it correct for me to say that you had some friends in Australia?
Yes.
Yeah, and
A few of them,
Yeah.
who had come before me, and some of them were permanent residents also.
So they were Sri Lankan?
Yes.
Okay, and that was your support group, so you created
Yeah.
Right. For people out there who want to make change in their own life, what are some things that you can advise them? What are some words that, I mean, it might not seem like much that things that have happened in your life, but I think to move from a country to another country, to bring a child at that age, and then to bring your partner, and then to settle down, I think it is a big thing.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to
At
find out.
that time it was a big decision, and what helped me to, because I wouldn't have come and settled down here if my mother was living, and unfortunately I lost her after coming here, so then there was much attachment back to the country once I lost her.
Okay, so
So
emotionally,
although I
guess.
had my other family members, my greatest attachment was to my mother.
So, what are some words of wisdom that you can offer, having gone through a lot of change and made changes in your life? Because I mean, where you could be living in Sri Lanka now, a completely different life.
Well, if there are opportunities where you can progress, make use of them. If and mostly we thought of about you, whether it will be beneficial for you. So if you want your children to go ahead in life, then make that change.
Okay, so given opportunities, take the chance, and I guess.
But still, you may lose certain qualities in life which you are used to back in Sri Lanka.
So you miss Sri Lanka? That's what you're trying to say?
Yeah, some of these things, yes.
Such as?
You will, like your old friends, your relatives, your customs and
I guess it's
culture.
a different culture.
Yeah.
And I think also we tend to do, you mentioned giving opportunities to your children. We tend to sometimes put our kids and our family ahead of us, and that actually drives us to create change. So that's the interesting point that you raised. Look, thank you for your time. I call her Amma, and I hope you out there got some things that you can use in your own life. Till next time, thank you.